You see, I saw Lillian standing there, and I didn't know who she was. I was just new at a party that... Oh, I've posted a video of the party anyway, so you guys can watch it if you want to, but I was just at this party, and she was there, and it was just so strong in my spirit. Like, I just had to say, like, talk to me. Like, can I interview you? Like, I don't know why, but I just have to talk to you. Like, I just have to. And, you know, she was so lovely and so gracious, and she wasn't all like, yeah, of course you want to talk to me because I'm Lillian Blades, that's why. She's just not like that at all. She's lovely and soft-spoken and beautiful, and her work is radiant. And right now it's on display, her very first solo museum exhibition is on display in Sarasota, Florida. And I want to encourage y'all to go. I want to encourage you to see it. You know, she's been at the Atlanta Botanical Gardens, in the Atlanta Airport, at the East Atlanta Village, library, East Atlanta Library. Just off the top of my head, some of those beautiful places that you can see her work. But yeah, I guess I just want to encourage you to unwind a little bit tonight. So here I am. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for showing up. I hope that you know you're loved and appreciated. And I'll appreciate it very much if you share the show with someone. If you can give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, something nice, you know. Anyway. Here's Lillian. I have to go back to this each time because we're standing here surrounded by just what I can only describe as the most intricate and beautiful thing I've seen in a long time with regards to art. Like it's 3D, it's the shapes and the colors and everything is just, it just works. And it's like, where did you know, is this something that came from your Caribbean background? Like tell me, like, what brought this here? Like, how did you
It is an accumulation of so many exposures and experiences. Like I said, growing up in the Bahamas, you know, we have a parade called Chancanu. Chancanu. It's like a parade. Costumes. I shake cowbells.
Okay.
It's lots of color, lots of reflection too, lots of glitz, glam. It's textural. It's pageantry. It's ceremony. It's homage. So, and it's also a quilt. You know, my mom was a seamstress, so I'm paying homage to her, as well as other women, like especially women of that have African diasporan roots. Like we have a very tactile tradition, visual tradition as Black people in general. So I'm merging a lot of that together. So my mom also knitted and crocheted and made wedding dresses. This picture of her here is one. This is.
Oh, that's your mom.
Yeah.
Symbolically, frames are about memory and preserving memory, like the memories I could have had with her, my mother. In my work, I wanted to honor her and my aunt and all creative women. I love that.
That's my aunt who raised me, because she died in childbirth with me.
Oh.
Her name was Lillian Blades too. Oh. That's why there's so many picture frames in here.
But they're empty.
They're portals. They're like the thing, like when you think of lack or think something that's missing, and like it's the potential, it's the loss, it's the potential of what could have been, but it's also that's why I put a lot of mirrors in it, so I could stay present and like reflect on where I'm at right now, because and I'm piecing things together. So I use buttons because buttons are about the effort to make a connection. The mirrors are about making a connection to yourself and my whatever, like I was around me and my current situation. So being able to see, it's timeless.
Yeah.
There are no hands on the clock.
Oh, that's why there's no hands. Yeah, I saw the clock, but yeah.
Yeah, this is called perennial, and I wanted it to be celebratory of like just who I am as a black woman as well. You know, it's like I wanted something really rich, and it felt like when I went to the Louvre and seeing all of those portraits in the big gilded gold frames, like I love that feeling of like this is special, this is honoring, like, but I'm honoring a tradition in a way of approaching art. Like to me it's still a painting. I'm a formally trained painter. I have a master's in painting, but I didn't feel like it was my tradition. My grandfather was a carpenter. He helped to build the British Colonial Hotel in the Bahamas. My grandfather, my aunts were florists. So I just wanted to put it in there, but put it in a way that it's like an altar. It's like a memory jar. It's a memory board. It's like a circuit board, like the motherboard. Yeah. I'm creating a quilt that feels comforting for me to look at.
Yeah.
Something that is what to pass on to in a way that is like I feel like I'm building on a tradition, but also speaking on where I'm coming from as a painter as well. So the colors are placed on it in a painterly type of way, kind of like in a gradation, a blend of colors, like if a brush was to blend two colors together. And I'm using gradation to kind of soften the eye when you see all of this, because it's a lot. But I'm simplifying it, but unifying it with gold, and in a way that acts like thread, you know?
Yeah, I see that. Even the way the beads kind of thread it together. When did you first come to America?
I came in 1993 after leaving the Bahamas, and I came to go to SCAD and to get my bachelor's in fine art and painting. I was there until 96. I came to Georgia State and to get my master's in painting from there. And that was right after the Olympics. I stayed in William Oliver in downtown, and I would walk to the studio at Georgia State, and I liked it. I got accepted to go to Yale, but didn't go because I liked the feeling of being in Atlanta and being.
What was it that made you want to be here versus going to Yale? That's like, Yale's like,
I know. Well, first of all, it was the cost too, but also I realized that I didn't have to go to Yale because I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't need to have a school validation. I know that that's what it would give, but even if it would take longer, I know that I was going to keep working no matter what, and I would get. And I want to be in an environment that felt nurturing, and in terms of, and also have easy access to go to the Bahamas too, or Delta. But I wanted to be around more black people, and the weather is good, and I have access to getting materials easier, because I knew I wanted to focus on more tactile stuff, like found materials and the work at that point. And I wanted to study with, be around more folk art, self-taught artists too, and it felt like it was not so conceptual based in the environment at that point. It is now, but I mean, I I'm a very tactile person, and I love working with my hands. I wanted to. I'm focused more on the elements and principles of design, and just the same way a musician would use the notes and make jazz music, without words, but it would strike a nerve within you that you can't put into words. Like, I wanted it to touch beyond words. So I'm looking to create an experience, an environment for the eye to experience, and it'll be different no matter where it's at because of the nature of the mirrors too, and the way the light would play with it.
So I can't help but smile personally because in my apartment where I live right now, I decided not to put a TV, and instead I put a wall of mirrors to stay present. So coming in here is a little bit like, it's overwhelming, but in a good way, because it's like, it reminds me of a weird synchronicity. My friend across the hall had
I don't have a television at home either.
Oh, I love that. Right? Isn't it just better? Somehow better.
I do. I'm on my phone though. But,
yeah, I know.
But when it isn't something that is just given to you. You have to actively act.
Yes.
And
to think. I know. Like, yeah. So for me, it's just kind of like, there's something about it that it feels spiritual. Like, I feel like spiritually drawn. Like, I know. I guess I want to ask you, like, to your light. It's weird, but like, it's almost like I want to ask you, like, what is it that keeps you light? And you have for me, what I experienced, the small time of knowing you, but you have a sort of I want to say like a lightness to you, and I don't even mean like illumination, like the actual light, but sort of like a lack of heaviness. That's what I
That's
pick
interesting
up.
that you say that. I never heard it put in words like that. I understand what you mean though, but I think it's keeping that excitement that I've had as a child, and being excited about the work. Back then it was my pack of Crayola crayons and organizing it and being excited about the possibilities of what I could do with those crayons. But now I'm playing with so many different materials, not just paint. It's like collage type material, mosaic materials, stained glass materials, things that, and that's how, and wire, fabric, patterns, paper. It's so much stuff. Objects that hold memory and patina. It's a way of painting with so much more than just paint. And I'm excited about that. So I get to do that and think about a way of building a visual language that is my own in a way. So I like working. For me, that's a visual artist. Like, anything in the world could be a possibility. It could be a canvas.
Coming from the Bahamas and having that as your kind of like your primary experience until seems like 19.
I was born in 73. I came in 96, so I was about I had 3 years after college, so that's like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Okay, so let's say 20, 21, 22. So that had been your primary kind of like experience, being Bahamian, living in a country where it's mostly beautiful brown skinned people, things like that, and then coming to America.
I've only been to Miami a couple times, but I haven't done a lot of traveling before then. My sister lived in North Carolina. Yeah, I've been a couple places, but not a lot of traveling.
how did it feel to you? Like, what was it like to be a person of color coming from a country where there's mostly people of color to then coming here? Like, what was that?
It was
how did
interesting.
That feel for you?
There was a difference. I remember, like, okay, I applied to go to SCAD, and I got accepted. I was so excited because it was nowhere I would have been able to go to college. My mom, my family didn't have the money for me to go to college. So I knew if I went, I would have had to pay for it myself. And SCAD was like $40,000. And I mean, I should say exactly, but that was, for me, that was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to go. But I got a scholarship for $10,000. And then my professor at the College of the Bahamas, Antonius Roberts, he said, you can do it. You can just paint and we'll auction your work off. And he auctioned, another artist, Brent Malone, they auctioned my work off with a few collectors. And I was able to, I raised like $21,000 from selling about 40 pieces that I made during the summer, and I got a scholarship from the Life of T Foundation. So I was able to go, and while I was in school, I'm getting sidetracked.
No, tell me your story.
It's kind of long because you asked about the feeling.
No, tell me.
Well, when I got there, I'm excited. The feeling I got from being, as soon as I got there, was like Hansel and Gretel type of feeling in Savannah, Georgia. Sunday, it felt like Sunday every day. The way how the Spanish moss is coming from the trees and the azaleas it just was beautiful. The cobble streets and the architecture is so like historical, and I noticed the black people were really they did not feel as there's an empowered feeling, I feel like, what I get, like, I mean, there weren't a lot of well-to-do black people that were like in the downtown area. Like, there were people that just like regular workers, right? So I'm noticing that I don't see a lot of the black folks who have the confidence that they've gotten from maybe going to college and coming back, or like being in higher positions in the country, like growing up in the Bahamas. So I'm looking at people on the bus stop, and they're very different from the white people that are or that working around. And I felt the difference. I didn't feel as much that growing up at home. There's this lady that I got to know a few. I went to church there too, and I got to feel that. But it's very much like home. I went to a sister church called Berean Bible Chapel, and it was a sister church to Grace Gospel where I went in the Bahamas. So I had a connection, and I was able to see and go have dinner with people that live there. So I got the feeling of that hominess that I felt at home. You know, it wasn't around on the campus. So I got to meet Dr. George Johannes. He taught African American Studies at Savannah State College, and he introduced me to the work of Roland Freeman, who focused on Southern art, quilt makers. He did a book. What's the book called? Well, it's a book. It really summarizes the quilt making by African Americans in the South, mainly from Virginia down south. And I looked at the quilts of Geese Bend, and they just started making documentaries and seeing exhibitions like Soul Grown Deep. That was at Pond City Market, City Hollies. There was an exhibition, and I got to meet artists like Lonnie Holly, and we became really good friends as well. But I got that, I'm going a little ahead, but that's what attracted me. that it felt like it was still deeply rooted in the soil, but transplanted right from Africa. And I was seeking that type. It felt like the pull was stronger then than it is now.
The division between, like, the what do you mean, the pull?
Oh, it's so hard to explain. I see as time go by, like, it's been about maybe 25, 30 years from when I was a student. But it was really, the cultural difference was stronger.
Between people of color in America, in your perception at the time, and, for example, unmelanated white people at the time.
But
in Georgia, in Savannah.
But there's a merge of that happening now, and the connection, I feel, is more of a spiritual connection that is beyond just skin color now.
Tell me about that. Tell me what makes you say that? Like, what is it that you see? What makes you say that?
Dang, I don't know if these are just random thoughts of how I feel. I feel like there's a ethical, there's a spiritual, like, when you're doing wrong and you know you're doing wrong and you're just trying to defend it.
Yeah.
That kind of defines the whole system of how you relate to people, and that has been maintained for so long, and then you have the kids that are breaking it down, and it goes beyond right now. It's about you're going to make a choice to be right or wrong.
Or on the
yeah.
Do you see that as a positive thing? Like,
yeah.
Do you see it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
because it's beyond skin.
Yeah.
It's just how we human.
Yeah. The reason I asked you that is because of the fact that you were living in the Bahamas so long, that I find that when people come from outside, like when you're not raised in it, it's easier to see. And that's why I wanted to know your perspective. But it sounds like, if I'm correct in summarizing it.
But it's still subtle.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it was stronger generations before me too. I mean, that's why I started doing a lot of research on it. I started, the Sankofa symbol became important for me, like to understand your past so you could know your future. That just kind of like not to be desensitized. Like why were we in slavery like that, and also like why are the information that we have is not as documented, and because it's been burnt and like we've not shared, like that we don't have control. But I mean, it's like all of those things have been kept from us, and we have to actively try to find this information. It's not given to us in the educational system. Even with food, just in general, with food and how to nurture yourself, you would think that you go to the food store and be able to nurture yourself. No, you got to take the time to educate yourself on what to put in your body. And most people don't have the time to do that because they're in this new form of slavery, I guess. You know?
Yeah.
And they're exhausted. I see it, and exhausted, and just trying to maintain and keep up. Yeah, I feel privileged to be an artist, actually, to be able to create and think and seek information and have the resources to be able to do so.
Yeah.
You know, that's something I don't take lightly. So I don't waste time. I'm educating myself on every area, and so that I can be able to help myself so that I can help other people. Like, I don't know exactly where that route is, but I know the mirror is something that is everybody needs to look in the mirror and ask questions. And so I'm using it symbolically, but also to also be able to create an environment that feels good, that's comforting to me, like a quilt would be comforting to be under, you know. And this is something that feels ancestral to me as well.
Your work is like a visual quilt, though. I'm sure you know that. I'm sure that's what you.
It's a memory board.
Yeah. It's comforting though in that way, like for me, because I don't know if there's anybody. Maybe loads of people tell you this.
Yeah, that's why I put like these quilted little patches. I want it to feel. It
feels comfortable.
But it's also home. It's also the Bahamas.
Yeah,
it's also
definitely.
Africa.
Yeah.
It's also the
ocean,
the South.
Yeah.
I'm using objects that trigger me and my memory, like that jar right there. Like you know, that's an old thing to be able to put a hole in the metal screw top of a jar and keep your money in it. Just like that triggers my
put it in
as a child.
And you put it in, and then it goes ding.
Little things. Things that would be around the house, or jewelry, or you know, like those crabs up there are. We have a saying called crabs in a bucket. But they're free here.
I like that. I see that. Okay.
I see it as like an abundance scape.
I like that. And the one of those crabs is very gold. Like, it's very golden. The one on the top, in my opinion, like from where I'm at, it looks just like, yep. Yeah. We're just like abundance. I love that, actually. They're free. Mm-hmm. So you feel like it's gotten better, you know, going back to like the whole experience here in America. How do you feel about the future? Like you mentioned, what was the symbol? Sangori symbol?
Sankofa.
Sankofa. What is that? Can you explain? Forgive my ignorance. Can you explain to me what that means?
Sankofa is an Adinkra symbol from Ghana that they would stamp on it, like in wax on the mud fabric. And there are, I think it's about 70 some altogether. They have specific meaning. But that one stuck out the most because it's a bird. It's two of them. It's a bird with its head turned on its tail. And it means to go back and fetch it or to learn from your past. But it's also like two S's that are kind of joined. Like they use them on gates, wrought iron.
Got it. Okay.
So that is like two birds that are together, but they're both looking back.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Visually, I love that symbol, but I also love what it means.
I love that. Well, I won't keep you too long. I'm conscious of your time, and I have one more question for you, which is kind of like open-ended, since I recognize I've been kind of asking you questions and directing the conversation. I always like to leave something at the end where you can ask me a question, say something, or say nothing at all. But it's more like, do you have a question? Do you have something you want to say? Do you have a question for me? Just anything or nothing at all.
I remember when we first met, I felt some connection in some way, like mentally, spiritually. So I was like, what drives you to even do what you do? Like, what is your goal? I'm curious about that.
Okay, I love that. All right. My goal is to encourage myself while I encourage others. I'm going to start with that as a goal. Spiritually, what drives me is a sense of like, seek ye first the kingdom. Like, I believe like I was raised in Christianity. However, I think that while I love Jesus and everything, what resonates with me a lot more these days is like a sort of a collective consciousness, an idea of everything being kind of like divinely connected, and I keep noticing that. And so throughout the fabric of the show, I get invited to a party, like that morning, and I end up and I go and I meet you, and I don't know why, but like everything in me says I have to talk to you, and I don't know why. I just feel like I have to, and then like there was a day where I was literally kind of feeling like, man, I got a lot going on. I can't do all this. Like I can't do it anymore. Like I just can't. And I went out, and long story short, I literally met Malcolm Gladwell, who's like kind of like a big in podcasting, has a awards and everything like that, and he asks me about the show. I tell him the show, and he goes, "Oh, you're the perfect person for the job." And I guess like I say all that to say, like, for me, it's a massive spiritual thing. It's a big sort of encouraging mission and a desire to share the voice of the people. Everybody's story matters. I feel like there's something that like you have to say that maybe I missed it, and somebody will listen to it and they're like, wow, and they're gonna go out and they could create something amazing. Or maybe they could just be having a really low moment and they could create themselves a night that keeps them on the earth another day. And I think sometimes like the big picture matters, but also it's the little things. Your art reminds me of it. Like, your art is literally a collection of little things. Like, you can't have the big picture with all of these intricate little things. And I guess that's, for me, a little bit like my show. It's a sense of like wanting to give light and inspiration and things to others, but also with a lot of collection of lots of little things that matter to people along the way, like you and like the lady I spoke to earlier today. I think just to let people know that everything isn't shit. Not everything is shit, because like these days it's a lot of trash. And you get a lot of it, and there's a lot of really people sometimes not doing the best. And we hear that on the TV, which I don't like it so much. You just hear lots of negative stuff, and it's like, hey,
sometimes you just gotta unplug.
That one. But then sometimes you're bored. And what if you're bored and you want to unplug, but you don't want to fill yourself up with trash? You want to just to hear something a little bit more encouraging, maybe a little bit different. So, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Well, it's shining a mirror on life and people's journeys and experiences, and then hopefully you can relate and see that there is maybe a parallel in the mind or in the spirit. There people are journeying and their own taking different paths, but it may be parallel, and we can all kind of help guide our journeys together. So
that one. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there who are on the journey, and who sometimes, I don't know about you, but for me it's really encouraging even meeting you and like meeting people where I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm not alone out here trying to lift up the. That's a good thing about I do a lot of listening to things. Like, I haven't really gotten so much into podcasts, but I've been doing YouTube and Instagram, and I mean the searches just lead to so many different things. And while I'm working, I get to do all that at the same time. I could listen to stuff like audibles. That are tougher or feeling a little bit lower? Are you kind of
You know what? I don't have any set rules on how to approach things. When it's time for me to slow down, I know when it's time for me to slow down. I take things as they come. I adjust well. And I feel like the more years that have gone by, I've been able to gain more of that, more freedom in that. It wasn't like that but my mind has always been seeking that. I know that I want more freedom to be able to go at my own pace, to be able to walk and think and just imagine what could be, what is being presented to me. So I respond. I don't really have a set agenda. I don't want to have a set agenda. I mean, I have a certain type of pattern or a slight formula in the way that I work visually.
Okay.
And I've created some symbols that mean certain things to me. And I'm using basic elements like circles or ovals, rectangles, and squares mainly. Not so many triangles right now, but those are basic elements. That's when you talk about shapes. When you talk about lines, I'm seeing the lines kind of like a raining, like the wind blowing the rain. I like the flow. I'm looking at it like brush strokes, but I'm seeing it more like energy movement. The colors, they're treated in a way that is therapeutic to me too. Like it's I mean, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but I know what it feels like. Artists that have done that, or like Richard Mayhew, he calls them mindscapes. And when he said that, and if you look at his work and you see they're landscapes, but they're representative of the mental terrain that we all have. And sometimes they're very somber. His early works were really like the palette that I have there. It's very neutral. So I like the palette there, but they feel like you could close your eyes and see the landscape in your mind. Like they're represented visually of what the mind could feel like. And I see my work similar. This is just interpretations of plants that were around me, like a philodendron. And then this is a double hibiscus, and this is candy stripe lilies. They grew around the house. So these are some of the paintings I did when I was auctioning them off to raise money
to make the money.
College.
Yeah.
And these are based on carvings from the straw market.
This is beautiful. But it's sort of like a
peacock feather.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
And then this is, you can see I'm playing with the splashing and the drips and patterning. Subject matter wasn't so specific then. It was more about a way of applying color and pattern and playing with the materials and texture. And quilting, the Roland Freeman quilts, the book, Dr. Dr. Hannes had me illustrate. He was a poet. He had me illustrate poems about quilts that he had in a book that he did with Roland Freeman. So this is called I Turned Myself into a Quilt of Yellows and Bright Reds. And this one is about how the white cotton things blow easy in the wind. They dry quickly, and the quilts take a long time to dry. And they're like friendly spirits, like the wind, the sun, and the rain hanging on the line. So, and then this is about inspecting the quality of the quilts. Yeah. And this is my mom. I have a black and white photo in this style, but looking at it, see the triangles? I hardly use triangles, but I was thinking of John Bigger's art. You know John Biggers?
I don't.
He's from Houston, and he created these very detailed drawings and paintings that have the similar type of pattern.
I see, okay.
And this is my mom giving birth to me, and my aunt receiving me, and other mothers who've passed. And then this is the predella scene of, they say babies born with a cowl over their eyes have prophetic vision. And this is like the netting that represent that, the afterlife. It's like this is like a platform, but it's also a pyramid.
To the pyramid, yeah.
These are self-portraits that I made when I was at SCAD. Always wearing the
way?
That I had these shorts that I wore all the time. This mask I end up putting in one of my first assemblage pieces. It's based on a Rembrandt painting called Two Negroes. And these are some models that we had, live models. And then we did still lifes. And then some of the paintings I did for the auction. And just wanting to not have to rely on a subject. Just my first time just painting abstractly. Mother and child I started seeing figures like gestures, not really fully defined. Bottled up thoughts. It's like a keyhole.
Is this an actual writing in the background?
Mm-hmm.
Like a poem?
I went through a breakup and was writing about it. I didn't want it to be so I call it bottled up thoughts.
Yeah.
And my aunt, she had a daycare, so this is with her with one of the kids, and these are island boys. And this is me when I graduated from preschool, and I call it No Time to Be Shy.
Definitely not in this picture. There's like hundreds of people in there.
Yeah.
You're on stage.
I actually peed on myself.
Oh no, I got
stage.
scared, yeah. Yeah, of course, yeah.
That was that moment.
Definitely shy. What were you doing?
It felt like.
Yeah. Oh, this is how it felt, yeah.
That's how my spirit saw myself. Like looking at myself on the stage. But notice the figures are very just gestural. This is the me that in my mental space, and this is the me that people see.
See, this is this is the one, yeah.
And I started practicing Yoruba when I came here. This is 96. I came to Georgia State. I started painting the figures, where the figures that are on Earth and have a body are in this color,
darker color.
And without a body, it's more like
they almost seem lighter and freer than this kind of like dark earthen, worn down, heavy figures.
Yeah,
it's like,
I was playing with texture. We're using doilies and other textural materials in the work too, and scratching into the paint. But this is like having a conversation, but still being aware of like a spiritual, like the type of conversations you would have if it's like we are in bodies, so we could speak, we could communicate that way. But imagine if you're not in a body, like with like the like it's just kind of.
Like a spirit, like the spirits, like almost like speaking without having to.
It's a privilege for us to be able to
communicate,
to speak and have our senses engaged and experience emotions and feelings and the highs and the lows. You know, being in this body.
That's true. I know. Say that again, though. Say that again. Say that again, though.
So we gotta nurture it to be here and really enjoy it.
Yeah, I know. It's true, though.
It's like being disconnected from your spirit.
From your spirit, yeah. And is this like a face? It almost looks like a face here. Or is that like not purposeful?
I just saw it like as a separation. I kind of maybe just
smudged, yeah.
And then this is just kind of just being reflective. Yeah, kind of like the white represent that kind of ancestral type of, or not even just ancestral, just spiritual. I feel like there are the spiritual beings are still are around, but they may not see like this, but they could. I don't
like
know.
Feel.
I feel so.
Yeah.
I don't understand it completely, but I could just
something.
sense like this. I mean, this is an energy, because we may not have our bodies, but we're still here. And heaven and hell right here on earth, actually. I mean,
literally though. I say that sometimes to people, like
that may be something that is not, people don't say that, but
But I agree with you, honestly, Lillian, because like I know people who are in hell. Like I know know people
you can
personally.
Experience that right here,
right now, just right now.
Yeah,
and they're constantly in it. This is beautiful. Now, what is this? Sort of like.
This is.
This reminds me a little bit of Falling I did. Like a tree.
Person comes to mind, Billie Holiday.
Strange Fruit.
Yeah.
This is Strange Fruit. Yeah. Okay.
That song is singing in this. What I'm hearing, I'm trying to connect with and be aware of what's happening.
Like below and above. This is a very beautiful piece. I like that one a lot.
Thank you. And then this is the first one where I started adding objects. I call this walking in mental spaces. My first African shoes, and part of my first quilt is in there. And that's the Sankofa symbol.
Oh, there it is. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So these were paintings that mother and child, like you can see the arms there, and I went through a critique at Georgia State where they said you don't have to be so literal.
Okay.
Like Professor Larry Walker was like, you don't have to always paint about your mom or talk about your mom. It could be symbolic in a way for you. I know that's something you want to pay homage to, or but you don't have to be so literal. And that really stuck with me.
So where's the symbolism of mom here?
Oh, the Sankofa symbol.
That's
and
why.
Then the
okay.
Patches, the squares became like quilts. So.
I got it.
And then.
So then, really, she's here the whole time.
Yeah, like you see all those buttons on there.
Yeah.
And then the PVC pipes are. My dad was a plumber, so I'm merging those two circular elements like cells in the work.
Yeah, I see that now. Yeah.
So it's like blood cells.
Yeah. Wow.
And then I started like this. These paintings, I was influenced by artists like Hans Hofmann, who is an abstract expressionist painter. And then I started cutting them up and sewing them onto another painting. So I would stitch gold thread around the edges and button them onto another panel, onto another painting.
Oh, wow.
And then I took it off the stretcher altogether and started sewing it with clothing so that it would be like like a painted dress. The paintings came off the stretcher. There are 3 of them. And then I added baby dolls and floral pieces because my aunt had a daycare and she was a florist. So I believe in like, I feel like in families in Ghanaian culture, or like if you're born into a family that was a metalsmith, you'll most likely become a metal. So I feel like I'm kind of piggybacking on what my mothers did, my aunt who also raised me too. So I want to pay homage to it. So this is my way of merging my painting with the dress, and also my aunt who was a No, she was the seamstress was the dress, and then my aunt Violet Ellis, she had a daycare, and then a florist. Yeah, my dad's mom and grandmother were the first florists in the hotels in the Bahamas.
Oh, wow.
But this is the first time I quilted the paintings together. So they're this is a bad picture, but they're joined together with hinges and using nails and wire to wire them together. And then the niches became spaces for me to include objects that were either from Africa, the Caribbean, or the South that felt like I had some connection to, or should have a connection to. And that mask I was holding, I made those from him. So this is like a clock going anti-clockwise. That's the Sankofa bird. And so, yeah, this is a better picture because I got a better picture of this one when it was shown at the Hammond's house. Because this was from the same time period from the slides.
I see.
Yeah, the quality isn't as good with the slides, but yeah. This one was when I was pregnant with my daughter. She's 24 now. I graduated in 2000 from Georgia State. And while I was pregnant, I did not want to work with color. I felt like it was like a transitional period. And so I made all of these canvases that are white, and I treated them texturally and using objects for the texture. So this is
really pretty. It's very different, all white and
yeah. I created
lots of different.
My thesis show was called Return to the Womb, and I hung 500 yards of gauze to create a womb-like space that you would walk into, and then I had all the canvases on the ground. So it was like it would be like a birthing when it come out. It would be full color when it come out.
That's lovely.
Yeah, and so this is what.
Oh wow! Look at this now. It's color. Yeah.
Yeah. So at that time I was collecting the fabrics from clothing, and I would cut them up. So the act of cutting the clothes and dissecting the clothes is like looking back. So and repurposing them so that they become like paint. Notice that the frame has always been a big part of it, but then I started making my own frames as well.
Are you making these frames that you put in?
Some of them.
Some of these you made?
Wow. Some of them have a base, like they have, just to give that square quality. I used some of them have canvas on them, like this one, like these. You see the canvases are on top of the panel.
That there, like these ones here. Okay.
Those were the canvases that would have been covered with the fabric.
Got it.
Like they started. I love this bold, bright colored palette. All the colors were like super saturated at that point.
Yes.
These are like, I wanted to do big pieces, so I rented the house next door, and in each room I had a blue room, a red room, the earth tone room. So I would make canvases that like just two pieces of a tutu and join them together, and then I would cover it with canvas. And then fabric, gesso.
Like hundreds and hundreds of canvas you made.
Yeah.
Looks like.
This is my
your daughter? Yeah.
She's 24 now. Yes, Aya.
Oh, yeah, Aya.
And then this is in the Bahamas. I was working on this for the National Art Gallery, so that I would join it with staples and screws in the back, like any way necessary to put it together. And like these are symbolic. This is called colonialisms and Africanisms in the Bahamas. Like the judges wear those wigs. So
that's what that one is about. Yeah, I see that.
And that's my first quilt. That's the ankh. And then this is East meets West. And then That's a portrait of a family. The white dress comes back again, but it's that basic composition, very graphic, but still earthy, and it still feels like it has the way how we would use pattern and mix it up. This I wanted to make it a circle, and then I did start making them into circles and treating them like this represents a cycle in life. That's like the child, the adult, the elder, the ancestor, and these were on 4 walls in a small room, and I had a veve on the ground, and I wrote what each one represent. So this would be dawn, noon, dusk, midnight, spring, summer, fall, winter. Oranges will turn into reds, and purples will turn into blues and greens. So
it's really pretty.
So everything is breaking down to deities from each religion. Everything could be broken down into those four moments of the sun. Robert Farris Thompson. Numbers, everything. And then I started getting into mold making, casting in resin. So all the buttons I was collecting and using in the work, I wanted to use them as texture because of the way how we would use buttons. And when you look at, you see that book called African Ceremonies?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
By Angela Fisher.
They
when you look
do you want me to get
it?
I can grab it.
When you look at the colors and the textures and the patterns of the African ceremonial arts, you'll see the inspiration of it.
Oh wow, I see it. Okay.
But all over Africa,
this jar,
like that.
It looks like the cover.
Yeah.
What do you call this sort of, I don't know how you call it, like the way that you decorated even the jar here, like on the outside. Like, for example, it's very reminiscent of this.
It's like a memory jar.
Memory jar.
That we would put on graves in the South. They would take these clay jars, I think, and or even glass, and cover it with glue or putty, and then you put objects like watches, jewelry, things that belong to the person who had passed and then they would put it on the grave. So that's this is a candy jar. So I wanted it to feel like it was candy, like candy. Like we had the thing where you open it up and you go 5, 10, 15, 20, just to count the candy.
Yeah.
And that's the feeling that I got. It was in a show called Sugar.
I love that.
She wasn't all like, yeah, of course you want to talk to me because I'm Lillian Blades. That's why. She's just not like that at all. She's lovely and soft-spoken and beautiful.
Yeah, and then if you look at Lukasa memory boards from the Luba people in West Africa, they are, let me see, Lukasa, Lukasa, Lukasa memory boards. Do an image search for that and you'll see this type of texture.
Yes, it's sort of like, what do you call that? Like, I don't know. Are they graving that in to the board?
No, they're using nails.
It goes on the outside. Okay.
They're nails
and washers and things on like a wooden board.
Wooden beads.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
But it's like a map of the village.
Oh.
So I see it's kind of like a circuit board.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So that's been an inspiration too. I don't know a lot. There's not a lot of information. I see they're like you see them in museums and stuff, but that's why I say a lot of our information has been lost. But when you find and read up about it, they don't have a lot of information. I mean, I haven't been doing serious like research.
Deep dives, yeah.
But I don't feel like I have to. This is something that was done many years ago, and I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that it's something that I shouldn't, but I just haven't done in-depth deep research yet. But I feel like just by looking at it and I connect to it visually, like how you listen to John Coltrane's jazz music and something that hits you and you feel it, you may not necessarily have to put words to it. Like when I see those memory jars, it's like something about it just feels good to me. And that's what I'm aiming for when I'm putting the work together.
Yeah, I like that.
These are eyes, I have mirrors, I have buttons, so that's all about connection. And this is you could open it up and keep things in there like something special. Making like faces out of objects, but it's not. It's like making a connection, but this is more.
I see that. This is kind of like two eyes and a nose.
Yeah, they're all from like just things faces. I found like on the ground in the street, and then I started using actual eyes. They don't know exactly the history of Junkanoo either, but it's a tradition that has been going on from slavery days. And we never really questioned it to the point where it was like, why do we do this? But it's a neighborhood competition between neighborhood groups. And it's just the pride of winning because you have the best looking costume, you know, and the best music. And it's great pride in that. And for me, it's okay for it to just be that. It's sad that we don't know all of the details, but the fact that it could bring the community together and we spend time creating in a competitive way, but it's keeping the visual culture and tradition alive.
Yeah. We're having fun, we're connecting, it's positive, we don't have to question it. I said we're having fun, we're connecting, it's positive, we don't have to question it too much. I mean, we should know.
Yeah, I mean
it's nice to know, but
there are some documentaries they went to through the Yoruba culture, Ghanaian culture, to speak with people about it and see the ceremonies today that still go on, and it's a lot of information, but it's still sort of general. But you could see the similarities even though so many years have gone by. So I can imagine if you don't even have that, like, we just don't want it to be lost altogether. And there's nothing wrong with interpreting and responding. You know, I still see if I'm paying homage to something that is connected to me. Some of them are just like this. For me, this is called Blue Roses. This feels like the staircase in the hotel. Like paying homage to my grandfather as carpenter, but then my grandmother as florist. Of course,
I see it. Do you ever miss the pieces after? Because like these are, you've shown me so many really like this is like a lot of time. It's a lot of work. No? Like how long does it take you to create like something like that?
I work on several at one time. Like I would have shelves of canvas. I would make all of the canvases, and then I would start to play with putting them together. But I would build everything up like they're monochrome.
It's actually one of my favorite things about the airport, the art.
Yeah, that was one of my first public art pieces. And then this one was a dress that I started wanting to make more three-dimensional sculptural pieces out of the canvases. So I carved the dress out of wood and then built it up with canvases. And this is a collaborative, community-based project where members of the community painted each of the panels.
Oh, it's the library.
And then I orchestrated putting them together.
Oh, I see. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Like some of the participants, mainly kids.
In these days.
And
You're still in a community. I love that.
And I did the outside.
Oh, this is beautiful. This is you? This looks familiar. Where's this?
East Atlanta Library.
That's the library. Yeah, obviously I've been best over here. This is, that's you did that. I gotta take some pictures over there. I love that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And then I did this one for Jane Charles Young. It's a quilt with photos of her from her earliest years to her last photo.
Can we go
Jane Charles
back
Young
just a second to the, because this is very different from any of your other work. Concrete, you know.
See, it's still mold making.
Okay, yeah.
So I made it out of clay, and then the tiles, 12 by 12 clay, and I carved into it, and then I casted it.
Yeah, so you're still in a library. This is beautiful. Yeah. All right. Yeah. We'll keep going. That's just. That kind of took me aback with just because it's you, but it's so different in the same sense. If that makes sense. Like.
Yeah, I really wanted to do more texture in there, but I did just the 12 by 12s and different types of concrete.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Thank you. And then this was another commissioned piece for Jane Charles Young for the Jane Charles Young Middle School. I had the students draw each other's eyes, and then I use her eyes and also quotes about her over the photos. You can't really see it, that is, I don't have good pictures. And then I did this with the Lyford Key School in the Bahamas. Their photos were printed on rice paper, and then I mounted them on white discs. And so the darker blue photos are at the bottom, and then they are the younger kids are at the top. And I had them paint themselves using the mirror on 4x4 panels. So that's what these lighter.
Oh wow!
They're portraits of themselves that they painted.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Now this is beautiful. This is a hallway and a stairwell.
This was like around 2000. So this is before I started. I was collecting the clothes from the thrift store, and then I would dissect them. But this was before I mounted it on the white canvases.
Oh, I see. This is you. This is like you're almost. Like what? Okay, what is this? This is it done? Like
no, these are. I was asked to do it, and this is at Sandler Hudson Gallery, and I did a installation in the stairway. So this is going down to the stair, and then the frames are on the darker part, and then I use because it's like a birthing. So it's going from in the gallery up onto the rooftop, and so it becomes the yellow and then lighter yellows and into white, and then you can go through the veil so that you're on the rooftop. So
emerging anew and reborn.
And
like, wait, is this the veil?
This is another installation that I did called with two other artists. This is
it's like Walls of Wonder. Right.
And these are some of the panels that I did in 2016. Yeah.
I like this.
So some of these I start to show the journey of these on Instagram, and I haven't updated my website since 2018.
Okay.
It's been busy since then.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's a good problem to have. I love that.
Yeah.